Simon Zappi from Italy.
Pockets the 3 ball. Cue ball finds the top rail. I think we know by now players are trying to pot that 1 ball in the side, so Skyler doesn't achieve that feat, and this looks like it's going to be a little bit awkward to start this match. Khalid from Saudi Arabia, 17 years of age, nice young man. Speak to him a little bit.
Yes, he made very big news in Saudi Arabia in 2019 when he won the US Open 8-ball junior tournament in Las Vegas, overcoming Kyle Dodd 6-1 in the final. Great achievement, that. Had lots of success in tournaments in his part of the world, and as Michael McMullen has told you, he won matches at last year's US Open. He had a very interesting introduction to the world of pool, which I will tell you about after he knocks in this one. Basically, he loved playing computer pool, and his father, Omar, noticed this and thought, well, he's got a real eye for electronic billiards, why don't we try the real thing? And that turned out to be an inspired decision.
Yeah, just at first glance as well, you can see he's a pretty tidy cueist. So potting the ball, I think, would come quite easy to Khalid. Safety shot. It's got Skyler Woodward in a little bit of trouble. Can Skyler Woodward go deep in this year's European Open?
We've been constantly debating and chatting about the new break rules. I get the impression, and I don't know about you, I get the impression that this new rule could really benefit Skyler because he's such an inventive player. He's got so many different shots. He's got imagination. And I think the variables the new break rules create will be to his benefit.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Phil. And I've spoke to him yesterday. He's all for this new break rule. He wants to play more pool. You know, he's come a long way as well. Let's not forget, all the way from US of A. And he's had a few shots already, just in the opening rack.
Had a meal with Skyler on the day before the tournament began. Myself, Jeremy Jones and Jeff Beckley went to an Indian restaurant quite close to here, and I can tell you, he can take his curry nice and spicy.
What about your good self, Phil? What's your dish?
I think it might be quicker to say what isn't. I think my personal favourite Indian-wise would be king prawn dansak. That will not be a favourite of Woodward, though, scratching. You a curry man, Cole?
Now and again, it wouldn't be my go-to dish, to be honest, Phil. I'm more of your Sunday roast man. Even though it's the first rack, I just feel this is an important 4 balls for Khalid. You know, he wants to show Skyler that, you know, he's here to play and I'm not just going to fall over and give you an easy win.
And as you pointed out earlier, very observantly, I like his technique. If Skyler Woodward thought he was going to have a nice, easy passage here, he might want to reconsider. Khalid Alghamdi did enough in the opening rack to suggest he could be a possible threat. Now you can see there in the corner of your picture over on table 2, Flavian Glant has just knocked in the 9 ball to draw level with Niels Fine at 5-5. Fine had a really good chance in that rack, but he snookered himself, attempting shape rather clumsily, I thought, and that was the indirect result. So, Carl, assessment of that break?
Well, the 1 ball was close. It hit the jaw. It kind of looked a little bit slappy, but he definitely got the 1 ball towards that centre. But I'd like to know how many times we've seen a player have an open shot, like an open easy shot at the lowest ball after the break, because the matches I've done, Phil, fair enough, we're only on day 2, there's not been that many. There's always seems to be a shot you've got to play, a good shot. So much so, he's playing safe, trying to get the cue ball in behind the 3, and that's a bad shot at this level. You've got to try and do something better with the 1 ball. And this has left a good chance for Skyler.
Yeah, meat and drink for Woodward. Well, in regards to the break-off, here we are, match 5 on the main table on day 2. And I've not yet said my favourite phrase, roadmap, because we haven't seen one. Certainly, I haven't.
Yeah, they're just coming few and far between, and we did expect this. And this is what we want as well.
It's a very busy arena out there, 24 tables simultaneously in operation. At the end of this rack, I will let you know some of the latest scores. What I can tell you is that on table 2, which is watchable on the Matchroom Pool YouTube channel, Niels Fine has started to really struggle. Flavian Glant, as Carl said, former winner of Romania's Got Talent, is showing talent on the pool table.
Yeah, that's winners round 1, of course. That's the second match that they have played. If you win 3 matches straight, you have qualified for the last 64 single elimination. That is the goal of all these 256 players. You've got to look at this event in a couple of stages, really, and Stage one for these boys is to, and girls, is to try and get through to that final 64 single elimination.
Yeah, this is also winner round one, and there Woodward looked quite comfortable. When he got the chance, he grabbed it with both hands. So match is currently on, I can tell you. Just one more match in round one to be completed. Fabian Negline and Raphael Val. And the winner of that plays Joshua Fuller next up. So far today here on table one, Tony Drago raced to a 9-2 win over Ivan Nunes Perez. Albin Aushin, I thought, was very solid indeed in beating Sandor Kont, but the best performance undoubtedly came from Fuller.
That was a good hit there from Sky. Looked very solid. And this is all caused because the players cannot control the cue ball. In order to put the one ball in the side, you cannot control the cue ball. So if you look at this now, Skyler's faced with a tough opening shot. If he gets this done and dusted, the rack is all there for him. Yeah, he's potted the ball, but he has lost that cue ball a little bit. And that 5, that purple 5, he's down quick. Maybe he can just play this with right and spin and come below the green 6. Yeah, he has done so. Nicely done, and this is what the best players in this event are going to do. They're going to handle these situations a lot easier.
I think he's an inspired player, don't you, Woodward? We saw this actually at the Premier League pool earlier this year in Milton Keynes. Had a very poor start, and then suddenly he caught a gear and he was wonderful for a while.
Yeah, he's got what we call a high gear. It's when, you know, they've got a little bit of a lead, they relax, they've been potting balls and break and clearing the table time and time again. Got to be careful here though. There's a bit of distance between cue ball and the 7. Sometimes you can land short. Sometimes you can land a little high, but that looks good. Yeah, and it is good. So he's going to take an early lead.
Skyler Woodward 2, Khalid Alghamdi 1. In winners round 1, I can tell you Eklund Kachi on table 7 has reached 7 racks against Pier Francesco Garcia. So he looks like winning the Albanian. So Shaw 5-4 up on Mickey Kraus in the same round. Flavian Glont now 6-5 up on Niels Fine. Moritz Neuhausen 4-1 up on the Brit Tom Stavely. Sebastian Starb, he's 5-4 up on Dennis Grabber from Estonia. Alexa Pachelsch 6-4 up on Andre Schickling from here in Germany. And Francesco Candela 4-3 up on Mikhail Gavenchak. That's all in winner round 1. As for loser round 1, I'll let you know all the scores from that after this rack.
Good opening shot here. The balls are split okay in rack number 4. Needs this to slow down. It's going to be okay. Got a nice angle now. He can just go through that little gap between the brown 7 and the 9 ball. Swing it round 3-4 rails.
When you look at his career record, he's won an awful lot, particularly back in the USA. I think my favourite tournament title he's won, the Smoking Aces Bar Box 9-ball Open in 2014. Get that one on the CV. Twice won the Texas Open. 2016, 2019. US Open, 8-ball in 2019. Also in 2019, he had a wonderful time at the Derby City Classic. He won the 9-ball, the Bankpool Ring Game, and the Master of the Table in the same year. But he's best known for being MVP, Most Valuable Player, in successive Mosconi Cups in 2018 and again 12 months later. I can tell you Fine and Glont have gone 6-6 on table 2. Here, it's a hat-trick of racks for Skyler Woodward. So keeping my promise about giving you these loser round 1 scores. Adbala Al-Quatan, he leads Daniel Tietsi 4-0. Stefan Selberg from Finland, who suffered that defeat against Oliver Sholnocki a little earlier. Sholnocki, I thought, played really nicely in that match. He's 2-0 up. Thanks to the good Shervin Ramini. That's 4-2 for Stalker. But when you're on that loser side, Carl, it must be so difficult to dredge yourself back into the event. Although, as you pointed out earlier, with this format, it's a lot easier than it would be at the old-style US Open.
Yeah, this is definitely, in my opinion, the correct format. It's better for the pool players. When you play a double elimination and you play to the last 16 quarters, or some of them are all the way through, it just seems like it's a big weight on your shoulders to come through that losers section. This, even if you lose in the first round here, it's probably 4 or 5 matches. You know, it's not a big deal.
Our colleague Jeremy Jones will be watching this and no doubt purring. Apart from the fact he's the US Mosconi Cup captain, he's got a really strong bond with Skyler Woodward and wants him to do well. Consequently, he will hate that failed positional effort. Not just a failed positional effort, it's a self-imposed hook.
You can see the disgust in his face with that one as he shakes his head. Kicking at one rail, he feels that's the only real path he can go. Maybe he'll try and nestle it up towards the 8. I think that's what he tried. And he has left the pot for Khalid. Not seen much of him in the last couple of racks. It's all been Skyler Woodward. But he is back at the table. Always a little bit tricky, these shots. These type of shots where you've got to cut it back into corner pocket. So easy to hit one of the rails. But he's handled it okay. Centre pocket. Now where does the green 6 go? Doesn't pass the 9 ball. Does he pass the brown 7 up in that top left corner? I'm sure you're sick of us saying this, but over on table 2, you can watch that match on the YouTube channel, Matchroom Pool. That match has been played by European pool legend Niels Fayen. And Romania's Got Talent winner, Flavian Glont. Tune into that one.
Yes, so after your initial message, I'm sure everyone rushed to see what his talent was, so we can tell people now, can't we? We can tell them he's simply mystical when it comes to how he can control a Rubik's Cube. He can solve 3 of them blindfolded. How's that for a skill?
Yeah, my son would love him. My little boy is obsessed with Rubik's Cubes at the minute, and he keeps coming to me to try and cure it, and I haven't got a clue, so I need to get a few tips off Flavian. But this is the beauty of pool. This is what people don't realise. As Khalid plays a shocker, Skyler's at the table. Yeah, the thing with pool is, Phil, there's pool players from all over the world, you know. We go all over playing pool. We've played in every country possible. And just this event alone, you know, we've got Romania's Got Talent winners. We've got Rob Hart, who's the brother of famous actor-comedian Kevin Hart. It's just simply amazing. It really is. And of course, we've got the legend you, Phil.
Well, I was going to say, you should be on the A-list, Carl. Box office. I must say, the scratch from Alghamdi was on the Z list. That was a really poor one.
Yeah, and the timing of it is not great because 4-1 and 3-2 is such a different complexion.
There's no doubt in my mind Woodward is really up for this. It's a very big ranking tournament. He wants to be as high in the Matchroom 9-ball rankings as possible for 2023. And of course there's Mosconi Cup implications as well. Although having said that, as we see Woodward take a 4-1 lead, it really is hard to possibly imagine how he could miss out on being in that US team come early December in Sin City, Las Vegas. A player who is very much in line for a Mosconi Cup debut for Europe would be Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. He's just started his winners round 1 match against Christian Praga, and FSR has taken the opening rack.
Well, he's potted the 1, but the cue ball has flown all over the table and found the corner pocket. And we're going to have a quick rack here. Khalid's got a 2-9. Watch the cue ball. Does go a little low on that long rail. Players are trying to come parallel across. And it went a little low, and that's caused... Well, I don't even know if he's looked at a 2-9, has he? Surely you play the 2-9 there.
Well, if you recall, he had a combination chance a little earlier on as well. It was quite a distance between the 2 balls concerned, but it was certainly worth a moment's consideration, and he never even thought about it.
Well, this is incredible. I back you to pot this 2-9 combo, Phil. Now he's going to make sure he plays the shot and gets on the 4. This could go wrong. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong for choosing his route, but surely you put the cue ball behind the 2 and just pop the 9.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Well, he's made good work of the 3 ball, but there's more distance on this now than from using the 2 ball. So anyway, it's his decision. He's at the table.
Well, it was a couple of shots after you suggested the combo, but in it goes anyway. In this instance, it is the 4-9 combo. So Khalid Alghamdi takes full advantage of Skyler Woodward's scratch on the break. Enjoying this match. It's free-flowing and some good shot making. It's all getting very tense over on table 2, as you might imagine. Niels Fine and Flavian Glont all tied up 6 racks each.
Well, Niels, if you imagine where the cue ball is now, the 4 ball was just to the left and Niels was straight in. And he missed the 4 ball, so this is what Flavian has been left with. We'll keep you posted, as always. I'm sure you're tuning in anyhow. Khalid to break. Oh, that's a better break, son. Crunch the 1 ball in the side. Here we go again, Phil. No shot on the 2 ball. Please keep this break for the future.
Yeah, I know it doesn't work this way, but when you crunch a break like that and you hit it so sweetly, you almost deserve a shot on the 2, don't you? You certainly don't deserve this. No reward.
First glance, safety shot doesn't look easy. He's allowed to play the push out, of course. Oh, lovely speed. Lovely speed. Wasn't easy, but notice the green 6 and the pink 4. He's used both them balls. He's done a fabulous job there. He really has. So easy to overhit that or not give it enough power. Fair enough, Skyler's got an easy kick shot, but sometimes that's all you can do on a pool table. He doesn't look 17 years of age, does he, Phil? Khalid.
No, he doesn't. He's playing with quite a lot of maturity, actually.
Jumping over the edge of this. Maybe the jump bank. It is the jump bank. Is he going to fluke it? He's not. So the safety's paid off. Khalid has a good chance in this rack now.
A big cheer from across the arena. I think I know what that might be, but I'm not going to commit until I'm absolutely sure and I see it on the scoreboard. Well, I've not seen it on the scoreboard, but I have it on very good authority from Jake Aspey that Rafael Aval is the final winner in round 1. He has beaten Fabian Negline by 9 racks to 7, and he now plays Joshua Fuller in winners round 1. And what a great story that is, because Rafael's father coached Joshua Fuller when he won the World 9-Ball Championship. And growing up, Val Jr. and Fuller basically went through the junior ranks at the same time in German pool. And I'm led to believe that Val had a very good record against Fuller all those years. Now, there might be a little bit of discussion there because I think Khalid was asking if he could use the restroom, and Skyler Woodward was wondering if that was possible. I can tell you, Neil Svian has just spotted the 9-ball down the left-hand lung rail to take a 7-6 lead over Flavian Glont. What a battle that is turning out to be. They're the matches on table 2 so far. Veronica Ivanovskaya, very good indeed to start things off. Eklund Kachi also against Matthew Wrigley, winning 9-3. Shane Van Boning, as you would expect from the reigning world 9-ball champion, totally dominant. But Fyan is not dominant. He's struggling. But of course, as always, he's fighting so hard to get to the winning line, and then it's the slate wiped clean and he can start all over again. So this is the order of play here on table 1, and we've just seen an addition there. The 6th match will be intriguing. It is David Alghamdi, fresh off helping Spain win the World Cup of Pool, up against someone that Carl Boys knows well, Benji Buckley.
Yeah, Benji Buckley from the UK. Spent a little bit of time in Florida as well. He's a tidy cueist, but obviously you've got to make Alghamdi big favourite in that match, all about experience, and Alghamdi's a tactical, sneaky genius, so this is going to favour him as well.
I met Benji for the first time actually on Monday when we came through passport control at the airport, and we were having a good chat. He seems like a good lad. He was telling me they've played 4 times, Alghamdi and Benji, and it's 2-2 in head-to-heads. Clearly, that was on his mind because he thought that would be the matchup that has transpired.
Okay, so he's going to go into that match with a little bit of confidence. The man at the table, Romania's Got Talent winner, Flavian Glont. Trails Neil Svian 7-6, so he's showing he's a tidy player.
Way back when, I think one of the great Q Sports talents for something else, off the wall, literally off the wall, was a Brit, an Englishman from Skegness in Lincolnshire called Graham Cripsey. He was a professional snooker player and a good one as well. And he made his living, as did his family, as Wall of Death riders. You know, the old Wall of Death and round the walls on a motorbike. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Skyler pots the 1 ball. No shot on the 2. Maybe a bank, but does he need to get that adventurous? Probably not. I mean, he could. The bank does pass the 8. He could kind of leave the cue ball down bottom end of the table for the 3. Safety shot looks okay as well. Looks like he can bank it 2 rails up towards the top. Leave the cue ball down here as well. That's what he's played. Needs to miss the 3 though. Well, luckily the cue ball's gone far enough. Khalid is hooked behind this 8 ball. So he's going airborne. Maybe has to be a little bit careful. Maybe the top left-hand pocket, the cue ball might find its way towards it. So there's a possible scratch. Well, good news, bad news. Good news is he didn't scratch, but look what he's left Skyler.
Woodward, born in Paducah, Kentucky, now living in Lubbock, Texas.
The cannon has gone wrong. He's got awkward cueing. He's got to pot it down the long rail. And he's got to try and get over to the left-hand side of the table. That's not going to be easy, is it? Bit of work to do for Skyler. And it's caused a mistake.
We do see shocks at this stage of tournaments, but they are quite limited. Somehow it seems the big names always seem to find a way. I can tell you over on table 2, Niels Fine has a 9-ball to move to the hill against Flavian Glant at 8-6. Woodward going well here. There's that 9-ball. It's a little tricky, this.
Very tricky, especially to get on the hill. It's there, and the cue ball's safe, so he is on the hill. 8-6 over Flavian Glant.
And the glue that held that dish together, a tremendous multi-cushion positional shot from 2 to 3. He went for the extravagant bank, and it was nowhere near, to be frank. And so this should be very routine indeed for Woodward to move even further ahead.
Yeah, 6-2 is a very, very nice lead in this new format. The old break, the one on the spot, it would be quite easy to run 3 racks to get yourself back in this match. Now Khalid he's got to work hard. He's going to have to play some good safeties, some good kicks.
Yes, indeed. And I can tell you who the winner plays in the next round. It will be Piers Labutis from Lithuania. Looking at these winners round 1 matches. Alexa Pachelsch on the hill against Andrei Schickling at 8-5. Francesco Candela and Mikhail Govanciak 4-4. Moritz Neuhausen and Tom Stavely 5-5. So Shaw 8-6 up on the Danish prospect Mickey Kraus. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, who's turned into a winning machine, he's 4-1 up on Christian Prager.
Nice break, very nice break. What's he going to be left with? He's going to be left with a combo, 2 onto the 3. That is more than achievable.
By the way, before we get into the meat of this rack, let me tell you, Eklund Kachi did beat Pierre Francesco Garcia 9-4, and that sets up a mouth-watering winners qualification contest against Nikos Economopoulos.
Good to see Nikos back on the world stage. Good friend of mine from back in the day when I was touring. Nice guy. Be good to see him have a good deep run in one of these big majors. It was tough for Skyler to get into the cue ball there. Nearly scratched. Is he going to try and get the cue ball in behind the 7? He has, and this looks great, doesn't it? Look at this for a shot.
And I think that shot illustrated what we know anyway, Carl, that this table is running beautifully. It's a very receptive, responsive surface. It's a broken record, really, when we come to these Matchroom events, but conditions are outstanding. All of the tables playing really nicely. Hardly any complaints whatsoever.
Well, would you look at that for a fluke? He was trying to hit the ball on the way up to bank it in this very pocket. That he's just fluked it in. Incredible.
Yeah, with shape on the 5 attached. Hindered cueing, never easy, especially when you've got to impart quite a lot of force into the cue ball. So all in all, that was a good shot.
That's perfect as well, so it's a slice of good fortune for Khalid. That looks like he's going to claw a rack back.
Yes, that jumped fluke was taken full advantage of. It is now 6-3 Woodward, and I can tell you at that precise moment, Niels Fine has just spotted the 9-ball to beat Flavian Glont of Romania 9-6. It was 6 racks each, and at one point I thought that Fine looked a little bit susceptible to defeat, but he held himself together in a superior fashion towards the end. The last mistake Glont made, he double kissed an attempted safety on the 3-ball, and from there Fine ran out. That is our venue here, the Esperanto Hotel and Conference Centre in the heart of Fulda in central Germany. If you're just joining us, this is the European Open 9-ball pool, the inaugural tournament. 256 players started. They are slowly being whittled down.
Skyler's back out of his chair quick. Dry break. And what is he faced with? Yeah, I don't think the one potted. I think he was trying to squeeze it in off the 6-ball. He's left a nasty little shot for Khalid and all. It's like kind of on that 50-yard line of an easy pot and an easy cue ball. If Khalid can win this rack though from 6-2 to 6-4, that'll give Skyler something to think about. Where's the 1-ball going to finish? Skyler might be tempted. A 1-9 combination here. There's a lot of distance. It needs making.
Of course, later in the tournament, at the weekend, when the 30-second shot clock is in operation, this amount of deliberation would not be permissible.
Yeah, he just can't make his mind up, can he? The problem here is he can't bank that 1 to just miss the brown 7, because when it goes up table it's going too near the pocket. I don't think he can chip off the other side. Is he going for the 9 or is he playing thin, trying to get the cue ball up near the 8? He's gone for the 9 and boy was it close. Is it Skyler's turn to fluke the ball? No. Can Khalid get through to the potting angle on this 1?
Because we know if he can pot the 1, 2 is a certainty. Position on that can't be really avoided.
Yeah, he's down quick, so that tells you he can pot it. Good chances now.
Well, he's proving resilient. The fluke in rack 9, who knows, that might be really important in a few moments' time. Although that wasn't the best, was it?
Yeah, just didn't get the cue ball far enough out, did he? He kind of drew it to that position. So he could have just played the 2-half ball and just come off even 2 inches, but obviously this camera angle probably makes this shot look a lot easier than what it is, but this will be super thin, this. That means the cue ball's travelling quick. Yeah, there you see, you can see the cue ball. Oh, what's that like? It's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. Because the 5 passes the green 6 as well, so this is now a genuine chance.
When he's been in, Carl, he looks the part. Hasn't missed an awful lot. His problems, of course, have been either tactical or, on one occasion, needlessly scratching. But when it comes to potting a ball, he looks more than capable.
Yeah, I fully agree, pal. I really do. I think he's a good cueist. Reminds me of cueing a little bit like Fido Ghost. That type of action. Obviously, he's only 17, so he's got a lot to learn, and he is learning on the job as we speak.
And what you've said there is absolutely right. He's 17, he's got an awful lot to learn. Which puts into sharp focus what a phenomenal achievement it was when Wu Cha-Ching won the World 9-Ball and World 8-Ball Championship in the same year when he was 16 years old. That's still one of the great pool achievements of all time.
Yeah, because that World 9-Ball Championship was obviously run by Matchroom. It was live on TV all over the world. It was a packed house for the final, wasn't it? It was a big crowd, and you know, the latter few years the crowds have disappeared, and the World 9-Ball Championships has been in Doha, where, well, nobody's been watching, to be brutally honest. So what he did there was simply magnificent.
Khalid Alghamdi, very good indeed. Very good.
hard because he don't want the 2-ball to fly away from him. He's got to try and tee that 2-ball up to put in the same pocket as the green 6. Let's not forget, it was 6-2 down in this match. There you see, he's actually okay there. He's got more than enough gap. I don't think he's playing it. Is he playing that? Well, he's lost the plot there. That is one for the... He's got to look back at that, and I think someone needs to tell him you could easily play that onto the 6, pal. There's a huge gap there.
We have seen, though, on 2 previous occasions that he's been reluctant to play any form of combination. He did win 1 rack with a 4-9 combination, having refused an easier 2-9.
Yeah, he's had Skyler on the ropes a little bit here, so big shot coming up now for Skyler. If he can take care of this and gain a 3-rack lead again, I think he'll be good enough to go on and win this match. So big shot coming up.
Ideally wanted to avoid the 9-ball, having made contact with it to drop on the 5. That's just a wee bit fortunate call.
He'd love to try and get the cue ball out as well. He doesn't want to leave with the cue ball there, because getting from the 6 to the 7, he needs an angle on the 7, and that would be awkward. So he may try and draw this out of the way. Well, he hasn't, so... And this looks easier, but it's a little awkward because the balls are brand new, the cloth's plain new, so it might slide on him a little bit and not come far enough down the table. So he's come far enough right. That was all about angle, and now he's okay. Just pot this and come over the other side of the table above the right hand side pocket. Well, 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 where's the 7 going to finish? Skyler, you are a lucky boy, my friend. That could have gone anywhere.
And whacking his cue off the cushion rail, that could also cause damage to equipment.
There's literally no safety shot on. Unless the 7 is off the rail, then you would try and roll onto it, which is scary. Can he play the bank shot? Can he hit the 7 thin enough to get the 7 back into that opposite side pocket? I think he can, but it's thin. Well, he could. He could indeed. What a shot.
I must say, at 6-2, I thought this was going to be routine. It most certainly isn't routine now.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, Phil. And I said I wouldn't harp on about this break for another day. But it's the sheer fact of nothing's coming easy to the players anymore. The last event, the UK Open, when everyone was just smashing the wing ball in, controlling the cue ball, controlling the 1 ball, Skyler would have probably won this match by now. But he's clearly feeling it a little bit, and because he's not getting easy layouts, he's got to fight, and it's all going wrong.
Where it went wrong there, he missed a powered 7 ball. Alghamdi cross-doubled it and went from there. The scoreline reads 6-5. Are we going to see a big shock? I can tell you over on table 2, the next match has begun. Alexander Kazakis is a big favourite against Vincent Gomez. By the way, Cole, now the winners' qualification round is beginning to shape up, and some really good contests there. Wojciech Szewczyk against Darren Appleton, Eklund Kaci, Nikos Economopoulos, Matthias Snigotsky against Max Lechner, Mark Bajtabosch against Karol Skaversky, Thomas Kaplan, Petri Makinen, Badr Alawadi against Jason Shaw, Abdullah Al Yusuf against Roman Hebler, Loho Sem will take on Konrad Yajushin, Niels Feyen, he will play Jose Alberto Delgado, who I've said has won his 2 matches for the loss of only 1 rack. And so already things are looking good in that regard. Mind you, before we get to winners' qualification, a lot of contests to be decided on the one-loss side.
Yeah, the first day of these events, maybe day and a half, you could even argue 2 days, always feels a little bit slow, doesn't it, Phil? And that's purely because we're waiting for winners' qualification, but then we're waiting for Judgment Day. The losers' qualification match is always a spicy one, because if you don't win, you are out. So things are certainly hotting up here in Fulda. Not that it's hot already.
And of course, if you make the last 64, you cash a check.
Well, Kazakis has swam the channel there. Got very fortunate to flip the 5.
Well, we see Kazakis going about his business here. I can tell you Shane Van Boning on table 4 leads Aref Awadi 4-0. Awadi came into this tournament with about an hour to spare as a late replacement. Someone pulled out. He was here with his friend Badr Alawadi from Kuwait. Decided to play, won his first match, and his reward was a meeting with the world champion. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, could he take some stopping this week? Well, I think the answer to that is yes. He leads Christian Praga 7-2. And Michael Gaventiak, he's from the Czech Republic. He leads Italy's Francesco Candela 6-4. All of those matches I mentioned were in the winners round 1. So Kazakis off to a good start. Now back to USA versus Saudi Arabia.
I don't want to keep harping on about. No, I'm only joking, Phil. But look at the cluster of balls up on the top left of the table. It's a dry break. As you see there, the 8 and the purple 5 have tied up. It's not coming easy for Skyler now. 6-2 up he was. He would have been feeling good, and now he's under the gun a little bit. Still on the winner's side, of course, so even if he does go on to lose this match, which is a big if, well, he's still got another life. It's not all doom and gloom. That was a nice pot, nice positional shot. It's all about that purple 5, folks. That's where this rack is going to be won or lost. Oh, he's got an angle, has he? This is a risky one though, but he does have an angle. He's going to be tempted to fire over into them 2 balls and break them out. He's also looking at a combo. Maybe the gap between both them balls is bigger than what that looks. We will know after this shot. He needs that to slow down though if he's playing the combo. He's bounced a little too much.
Yeah, you could see the consternation when he realised there was a little too much juice in the cue ball. So the attacking mentality is gone. It is pure and simple containment. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz on the hill against Christian Prager, 8-2.
Got to play this slow, just nestle up onto that purple ball. Got to hit a cushion after contact. Looks a little close to the 8, and it's just caught the 8. It's a foul, ball in hand. And look where the balls have finished, Phil. There's a very easy plant available for Sky. If he hits that 5 ball there, Khalid, he's well in this rack, but just a misjudgment of line. And it looks like he's going to lose rack number 12.
Well, Woodward has already displayed his frustration in this match. If he were to fail in clearing up here, he would be extremely annoyed, let's put it that way. This is a bread and butter chance. Oh, but look at that. Woefully short.
Yeah, he's just not feeling it. And I think we have seen this with Skyler over the years. When he's on, he is on. He is a match for anybody. But just when things don't go your way a little bit and your cue ball's not quite as tight, it's what we call the B game, isn't it, Phil? When he's playing his B game, that just seems a little weaker than the other top players' B game. Big shot coming up in a big moment. He's missed it. He needs this cue ball to keep running. The further this keeps running, the harder it's going to be for Khalid. He can't pot this in the corner because the cue ball will go in the side pocket. This is horrible. He may just have to play a containing safety shot when he's coming round here to look at the 2-rail kick in the side. That would be a bit of a trick shot.
The overhead view there gives us a good indication of just how tight these middle pockets are. If you catch that near jaw, you are toast. Not the most penetrating safety, that.
Yeah, he's done well there. Because Skyler is in trouble. There's only the 9 ball as a blocker. So he's in a bit of a situation himself as well.
Yeah, he's low on confidence after missing the 6 ball previously to middle. The pot he's on. But it's one of those situations where it might be a throwing down of the gauntlet. Yeah, he didn't fancy that at all, did he?
No, he didn't. I don't blame him, because even though you might have left a bank into the left centre, so hard for Khalid to get the cue ball up towards the 7.
What a big rack this is, both numerically and psychologically.
It's another good safety shot though, containing safety. Skyler may be able to play off the right hand side of the 6, swing the cue ball round. He could play a bank. It's a big shot to take on, but he is a good banker of the ball. Went for the bank. Sometimes you fluke the treble, not this time. Khalid's got a shot now. It's tough, but he does have a shot.
How about that? No hesitation, no doubt.
Yeah, wonderful piece of cueing there. Stayed very still. Went in clean as well. That was what was good. And he does have a bit of an angle. Well, even this is a good shot. I think it's the real deal, this Khalid, you know.
Well, let's put it this way. Potting is definitely not the problem. Four racks in succession for the pride of Saudi Arabian pool, Khalid Alghamdi. He was 6-2 down. Now he's on level terms at 6-6, and Skyler Woodward is suddenly facing a potential crisis.
Yeah, it's now a best of 5.
No crisis, though, for Woodward's Moscone Cup teammate and World Cup partner, Shane Van Boning, who leads Aref Awadi 8-0. Other scores in that winners round 1. Mieszko Fortunski has just started out against Ahmed Al-Dulaimi. 1-0 to Fortunski. 2-0 for Ramazan Akdag of Turkey over Pia Filler. And it's just about to go 3-0 if he pots the 9 ball for Alex Kazakis over Austria's Vincent Gomez.
No shot on the lowest ball. Potted the 1. The blue 2 is the ball both players are on.
Just for closure, Kazakis did pot the 9 ball. Things going well for him.
Gonna have to play a push out. But he keeps looking at that gap, doesn't he, in between the 5 and the 9 ball. Skyler's going to get the option. Play this or pass it back. and he's give it back. So let's see what the young man has in store for us.
All of you watching in the United States will be pleased when I tell you that Shane Van Boening has completed that 9-0 whitewash over Aref Awadi. He now plays in the winners' qualification against Yanni Uski. So Van Boening through his first 2 matches for the loss of a single rack in total. It's all very different from Woodward, who's being stretched to the limit here. He'll be pleased with that 2-ball though. That was encouraging.
Got to steady the ship now. This is where experience comes in. All the matches you've played, Skyler, all the Mosconi Cup experience you've got. But he's got to play a good shot now. He's got to find this gap on the left side of the table, I believe. Unless he can get the cue ball over on the right, just below the 9. He's got a better view than anyone. If he gets this shot right, you feel like it's a rack winner. And he's not won a rack for the last 4. 6-2 up, remember. Needs to miss the 8. He's not got there. He hasn't got there. He needed to come way lower than this, so he can't pot the 5 now.
And what's more, I don't think he can see it either. The 9-ball, is it totally obstructing? Or is there just a sliver sticking out?
I think that was a foul. Yeah, it was. Skyler has got good on his jeans. Just flicked the 9 on the way through, didn't he?
Yeah, the best instincts in that kind of instance are with the players. He knew immediately. And the integrity of Woodward meant that he was going to own up and give a very simple run out over to Alghamdi. A run out to take the lead.
This has been impressive. I know this match is still not over, Phil, but this has been good stuff from the young man. He stayed patient. He showed nerve, composure. And who'd have thought 20 minutes ago he would have these 2 balls to take the lead?
And who would have thought when he fluked that jump shot, which he completely mishit in rack 9, he'd be here now. 2 racks away from a famous victory. Khalid Alghamdi leads Skyler Woodward by 7 racks to 6. An inspirational choice for the main table. What a talking point this will be. Other scores in winners round 1 going on at the moment. James Devlin and Mario He, 1 rack each, early doors there. Alexander Kazakis over on table 2 against Vincent Gomez. Nicely in command in the early days there. He's 4-0 up. And Mikhail Gavenkiak from Czech Republic, he leads Francesco Candela from Italy 7-5. Lots of matches on the losers' side, of course. You might have seen GJ Oyengoran take on Joshua Filler earlier. Filler was tremendous in that match. Oyengoran afterwards described him as a machine. Well, he's playing Fabian Nieglein at the moment, and GJ is 3-3.
Yeah, I noticed Tony Drago was losing 4-2 as well, and he's already lost another match since we've seen him this morning, so he's in a tricky spot there. If he loses that match, he's out of the tournament.
Yeah, that's in losers round 2 against Niels Johanning. How'd you like these?
This is a wonderful chance to get on the hill. He's won 5 racks on the spin against the Skyler Woodward, who was looking good.
It's always good to see an emerging pool nation produce a player who can claim a very notable scalp, and that's potentially what we're watching here. Alghamdi just 3 balls away from being on the hill. And I'll repeat myself, Carl. When it comes to potting, he's been very reliable.
Yeah, he's done very well. He really has. 6-2 down to claw his way back in the match and even take these balls out the way he has. It's not looked clumsy. It's looked neat and tidy. This simple 9-ball and you're on the hill.
Extraordinary. 9-ball is a game that never fails to amaze. And this scoreline most certainly does. We can trace it back to one incident. It was in the 9th rack. Woodward was going reasonably well at 6-2. He wasn't playing his best, but he was certainly numerically in control of the match. He placed Alghamdi in a snooker. He jumped. He missed the 4-ball going up the table. Hit it on the way back. Fluked it. Cleared up. And now he's on a run of 6 consecutive racks. The whole match, the complexion has completely changed.
Yeah, and Skyler Woodward has just faltered, hasn't he? He's had chance after chance. He missed a 6-ball in the side pocket. He's played some poor safeties.
Yeah, caught the 9-ball, didn't he, in the 13th rack, trying to squeeze through. Committed a foul. But just when he wanted a good break.
That is the one thing that is guaranteed this week. When you are sat in your chair now, let's just pretend it's Hill. You know the players are not necessarily guaranteed a ball off the break. There's work to be done. Easy snooker for Skyler, and he's done a fine job. He's got him jammed up against the brown 7. There's still plenty of action left in this match.
While he's in contemplating mood, I can tell you Alexander Kazakis just keeps forging on table 2. 5-0 up on Vincent Gomez with a great opportunity to make it 6. Oh, what an escape!
Incredible shot. He has left the pot, but all he could do was hit the ball, couldn't he, Phil? Hit the ball and just take your chance. That was nicely done. Looked very easy, but behind the shot, Skyler would have known he's got to hit this pure to find that gap. And he's got to come with another good one to find another gap in between the 6 and 9. Where's the cue ball? It's okay. It's okay.
You've been in this position, Carl, where you know that your next mistake could well be your last mistake. It really does sharpen the focus.
Yeah, this is why you play, though. You know, obviously, if you go on to win the match, such a good feeling that you've managed to close out under the utmost pressure. And this can actually do you the world of good moving forward. At the minute, Skyler just wants, you know, probably to walk out the room from 6-2 up. But if he goes on to win the match, let's say if he'd have won 9-2, Phil, or he wins 9-8, you'd rather take the 9-8 because this really sets you up for the rest of the week, because you know you've performed under big pressure.
Maybe just a hair too much side on that one. He's left a blind cut back, which he should negotiate, in fairness. And of course, it's winner breaks. That is potentially vital here if Woodward can wrest the breakaway.
He's definitely feeling it a little bit, though. That last pot didn't go in clean. That one did, though.
As he's displayed in many a Moscone Cup and in other individual tournaments around the world also, Skyler Woodward is not only very skilled, he's also a fighter. He's still really in this. The deficit now down to just a single rack. And we do know what our next couple of matches will be. We know about David Alghamdi against Benji Buckley. We've already set that one up. Now the news has come through. The match after that will be an all-German affair, and what an intriguing tussle this promises to be. On the one-loss side of the draw is Ralf Suke, the great German player, the finest player this country's ever produced in terms of his career achievements to date, being challenged now, of course, by Joshua Fulda. He's up against Veronika Ivanovskaya, who has already won a match on one of our streaming tables, on table 2 earlier today. What a thrill that is for Veronika to take on Ralf on table 1 here.
Yeah, she's going to be up against it, that's for sure. But you never know. Cue ball was going to go in the side pocket. It looks like a dry break. It is a dry break. Khalid, the 17-year-old kid from Saudi Arabia, has a chance to beat Skyler Woodward and advance further in this tournament. Quick glance around the table. The balls are all sat not too bad. Every ball has a pocket. This is just all about how good your cue ball is. Can he close the match out?
We experienced several shocks yesterday. Viktor Zielinski losing to a young New Zealander Sullivan-Clark 9-2. That was arguably the biggest. But now, well, move over maybe.
Big shot coming up. Needs to get on this 3 ball, and he needs an angle. Has he come far enough out? Is it lacking pace? Looks a little shy to me. Maybe he's got an angle to pop the red 3.
I think you described him earlier, Carl, as the real deal. I think tactically, still a lot to learn, but when it comes to actually potting the balls, and that's the bedrock of success in this game, isn't it? When it comes to potting them, I'll tell you what, he knows which end of a cue stick to hold.
Yeah, he does. Can he hold himself together now? Because this is a tricky layout. This was a tricky layout, and he's halfway there, nearly halfway there. Now the big shot's going to come from the green 6 to the brown 7. That is going to be where this match is won or lost. If he can pot this 5, get nicely on the green 6, needs an angle, and if he comes down the table far enough for the brown 7, I feel like he's going to win the match. This is the shot now. How good does he get on this brown 7? He's got to come down table and float past it. 8 goes in the side, so that's okay. This is match ball for me coming up.
Remember, they started playing pool on a computer. And his father, Omar, said, why not try the real thing? Took to it like a duck to water. And now, what a scalp he's on the verge of collecting.
He's took these beautiful. He's under pressure. He's a young man. He knows he's playing Skyler Woodward. It's a big scalp for him, and he's done it. What a performance.
Woodward banished to the one-loss side of the draw. The big story here, all the way from Saudi Arabia, 17 years old, Khalid Alghamdi has beaten Skyler 9-7, and bear in mind, at his lowest ebb, the teenager was 6-2 in arrears. What a story at the inaugural European Open. Coming your way in